What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. This is one of the most special project bikes I've ever put together. A bike that perfectly matches my riding style and everything I love about urban freeriding. Let's get into it. So let's start with the frame. The frame is the Canyon Torque Collective in size medium. This is not a custom paint shop. You can actually buy this exact frame on their website. The original bike costs around 3,300 euros and weighs about 16 kilograms. A lot of people ask me why I'm riding the Canyon Torque with the double crown instead of the Canyon Sender. And the reason is pretty simple. The Torque is way more playful than the Sender, especially for flips and trial stuff. It just feels more alive and easier to move around in the air. But don't get me wrong, the Canyon Sender is an insane race bike. But for what I'm doing here, the Torque just fits my riding style better. For suspension, I'm running the Mazzocchi Bomber 58 fork in the front and the Mazzocchi Bomber Air Shock in the rear. In the fork, I'm running about 100 psi and the rebound is 7 clicks open from fully slow. In the shock, I have around 250 psi and the rebound is 3 clicks open from fully slow. I always go with an air shock instead of a coil, and the reason is simple. I can change the setup whenever I want. For example, for the step down backflip, I like to have the setup really hard. But on the other side, on the stair set, I want to have it smooth and soft. With a coil, you just don't have the flexibility to play around. So let's move on with the cockpit. I'm running the G5 handlebar with 780mm width and 30mm rise. In my opinion, the handlebar looks like a little bit moto style, and that's why I put the Audi moto grips on there. They're different from the ones I use in the Edit, but they are still the same brand from Audi. So let's move on with the brakes. I'm running the Magura MT7 Raceline Edition, but to be honest, you can't miss them with the yellow color. Most of the time I'm using the HC3 lever, but sometimes I switch to the HCW lever. I feel like the HC3 lever is way more aggressive compared to the HCW lever. When I'm doing the trial stuff, I just want to have the full braking power. That's why I'm using the HC3 most of the times. I usually run my brake lever at about a 51-degree angle. For the rotors, I'm using the HC Storm brake disc with the performance brake pads. But when I ride trial, I also like to use the race brake pads to have the maximum braking power. And trust me, different brake pads make a huge difference on your Magura performance. For the hubs, I'm using the Industry 9 Hydra 1 hubs front and rear. And I think everyone knows Industry 9. The performance and especially the sound is just insane. My hubs are custom painted more or less by me and my dad. Well, more by my dad and less by me. So let's go on with the rims. The rims are DT Swiss FR 541, also custom painted by us. The most common question I get, which rim this is and if I would ride it again. Honestly, probably not. Don't get me wrong, DT Swiss is a top-notch brand and I love the products. But for this type of riding, I would go for a different model. But to be fair, I don't think any other rim out there would have survived the 22 stair set to flat. So let's move on with the tires. I'm running the Maxxis Minion DRH2 in 2.4 width. The tire pressure is 2.4 bar in the front and 2.6 bar in the rear. Slightly on the harder side, but that's important so that I don't smash my rim on the stairs. Inside I'm running the Tubolito tubes because I'm a huge tube fan and especially the Tubolito ones. I run them on all my bikes from trial to downhill. I also didn't have a single flat tire in Prague. And also, these are the lightest tubes you can get. Alright, now let's move on with the drivetrain. The shifter is a SRAM GX. Pretty basic, but I never had any issue with it. The chain is the SRAM XX1 Eagle in rainbow colorway, which looks pretty insane on the bike. The cranks are the Descendant 6K and we have the crank putter Stamp 7 pedals in purple on them. The purple pedals match the bike perfectly and the size and the layout of the pedals gives me a lot of confidence. The seat post is a G5 and the saddle is from Sixpack, the HA edition, which in my opinion gives the bike a proper freeride look. So yeah, that's my full Wibmer Impossible bike check. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comments down below. And also if you would change anything on this dream build. See you in the next one and thanks for watching.